What's good, everyone? Welcome to my channel. It is a Friday episode, so you know that means it is about Japanese culture. And today I'm going to be covering a topic that everyone loves about Japan, and that is Japanese food. Now, Japanese food has been very much popularized the world over, become quite famous. And today I'm going to be talking specifically about Japanese regional specialties, regional cuisine that has become associated with a particular area or city and is one of their claims to fame within Japan. Now, some of these are legit in the sense that they are genuine local specialties that the local people enjoy and love themselves, and some of them are just tourist trap food for the visitors. So, which one's which? Let's get started. Tourist traps exist the world over, and Japan is no exception. So today I'm going to highlight 5 different foods that are local specialties somewhere in Japan, and I'm gonna make it a bit of a quiz. I'm gonna give you a brief rundown of that food and the sort of situation surrounding it, and then I'll give you a few moments to think about it and decide, is that a genuine regional food that people love, or is it just something that's there for the tourist, i.e. a tourist trap? All right, let's get started. And we're gonna get started in the place where I got started, which is Fujiyoshida City in Yamanashi Prefecture. And that is a genuine tourist town because it is at the foot of Mount Fuji. It is also home to Fuji-Q Highland, which is a giant amusement park. So it definitely has its share of tourists. Now, their local food is known as Yoshida Udon. Now, udon is a Japanese staple. It's a white flour, thick noodle that you can find everywhere. But Yoshida Udon is different because there's more salt in the dough, and so you end up with a chewier, tougher noodle than you do in pretty much everywhere else in Japan, where it's kind of a soft, silky noodle, which you probably had. They serve it in Japanese restaurants outside of Japan and everywhere in Japan. So, what do you think? Is this one going to be a genuine beloved local favorite or a tourist trap food? Tick, 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 tick. Ding! It is a genuine beloved local favorite. If you go into a Yoshida Udon restaurant at lunchtime, they're only open at lunch, you will find yourself just packed cheek to jowl with city hall workers, factory workers, office workers of all types. Basically, everyone loves going to Yoshida Udon. And why wouldn't they? Because it's cheap and it's filling. You can get a bowl of udon for 300 to 700 yen, depending on the topping. So $3 to $7, you've got a full lunch and your meal is taken care of, and it's really a delicious food. I recommend it if you go. Number 2, we are going to go up to Sendai City in Miyagi Prefecture, and there they are known for gyutan, or beef tongue. Like Fujiyoshida, there is a wide variety of beef tongue restaurants if you go there, and it's typically grilled over an open flame and served with a side of white rice with barley and oxtail soup. So, what do you think? Genuine, beloved local favorite, or is it tourist trap food? Ding! This one is a tourist trap food. Pretty much everyone I've ever met from Sendai who I've asked about it has said that it's not really something that people there eat, except maybe on special occasions. And it's actually the case where if Sendai people do eat gyutan, it will be at some specific locations that are kind of local legends or local favorites. When I was in Sendai, I ate at 2 different places and had gyutan. And the first place was clearly a local institution. It had been grilling beef tongue for over 60 years, and the decor was this kind of throwback Showa era. Everything was smoky and greasy from 60 plus years of grease smoke, right? From the grilling of the meat. And I think Sendai people probably know this place. I will link it below and I highly recommend it. The other place I went to was closer to the station, and it was clearly set up for tourists. It had the feeling of like a family restaurant, a Denny's or something like that. The major difference between that and the udon is it's expensive. Udon, $3 for lunch, whereas gyutan, it's gonna cost you $30 on up depending on what you get. Okay, number 3. We are going out to Hiroshima City in Hiroshima Prefecture for their Hiroshima Okonomiyaki. Hiroshima Okonomiyaki, what makes it different from okonomiyaki everywhere else in Japan is that it contains noodles. So basically what okonomiyaki is, if you don't know, is that it looks kind of like a pancake, except it's savory, not sweet. And it is, let me get across the road here. It's basically a flour batter mixed with cabbage, and then you can top it with all kinds of different toppings. Everything from shrimp to pork to kimchi, like whatever you want to put on it, you can basically put on it. And in Hiroshima, it's gonna have noodles in it. So, what do you think? Local favorite or tourist trap food? Ding! This one is a local favorite. Again, it's an inexpensive, family-friendly food. Given the variety of toppings, pretty much everyone can enjoy it the way they want. And there's nothing, you know, like noodles, kids will eat it. It's inexpensive, you can find it all over Japan as well. And I'll tell you what, if you go and have it in Hiroshima, don't refer to it as Hiroshima style okonomiyaki, because you will get the reaction of no, this is okonomiyaki. Everything else is blah 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 okonomiyaki. This is the real deal. Number 4, we are heading to Tochigi Prefecture, to Utsunomiya, which is famous for gyoza. Now the streets I'm walking along now, I'm sure any number of these little restaurants along here will probably serve you gyoza. So what makes the gyoza in Utsunomiya unique? Well, like the Yoshida Udon or the Hiroshima Okonomiyaki or the Sendai Gyutan, there are a plethora of different restaurants making it. What is it exactly? Well, it's one type of Chinese style dumpling that Japan has really embraced as its own. Now, you might say, well, wait a second, that's Chinese, it's not really Japanese food. No, it's definitely Japanese food. Like ramen is originally Chinese food, and Japan has embraced it and made their own styles of it. Gyoza, you know, you go to a Chinese restaurant and you can get any manner of different dim sum, or pot stickers as we used to call them in the US. But gyoza is very specific. It is the sort of flour shell packed with pork and nira and garlic and some different spices, and it's always pan fried, so you get this sort of crispy exterior with the soft inside. That's what sets gyoza apart from other types. And like I said, you can get it pretty much everywhere, and Utsunomiya has restaurants that specialize in gyoza just all over the place. So, what do you think? Genuine local specialty or tourist trap? This one is also a genuine local specialty. I'm not really sure why, but the people of Utsunomiya have really embraced gyoza as like their town dish. And people I know who are from there will talk about how they have their favorite place that they go to. Sometimes they'll eat in, but quite often they'll take out. You know, they'll order gyoza and they'll take it back home, and it'll be served either as a main or as a side dish to something. Last but not least, we are going to go to Kyoto, and we're going to be talking about a souvenir food that you can buy in Kyoto and take back to wherever it is you come from. Now, Omiage in Japanese kind of roughly translates to souvenir, but it's not the same thing. It's not like a t-shirt or a keychain. It's usually some kind of food that you take back and you share with your colleagues, you share with your extended family, you give boxes of it to your friends. And yatsuhashi, the little flour pillows filled with sweet red bean paste and a little hint of cinnamon, are a very refined version of this omiyage souvenir food. And it's so famous and so well known, you can actually buy it outside of Kyoto now. I mean, my local supermarket even carries yatsuhashi, so you can get it pretty much everywhere because it really is delicious. It's one of my favorite local souvenir sweets that you can get. And you know, they're really common all over Japan, but this one in particular is very famous and is definitely one of my favorites. So, here's the question. Is this a genuine local favorite that is beloved of the people who are from there? Or is this a tourist trap? This is a tourist trap. Despite being incredibly famous, the people of Kyoto don't really go out and buy this themselves. It's not something that they're really into. It really is something that you're going to find mostly for sale close to the Kyoto station, and it's something that really is just for the tourists. I hope you've caught on to something though, between the gyutan, the beef tongue, and the yatsuhashi, and that is, these tourist traps may be tourist traps in the sense that the locals don't really partake in them, but that doesn't mean they're not good. They are actually quite delicious, and they are worth experiencing if you go to these places. That's one of the differences, I think. When you think of a tourist trap elsewhere, you've been funneled into a place where something is not really genuine, and you've been funneled into a place where it's, you know, the locals don't partake in it, so it's not really that good. In Japan, that's not the case, because you're always going to have something that's genuinely high quality, and it's famous for a reason, even if the locals aren't so much into it. All right. I want to thank you so much for watching this. If you have any questions about local favorites, or you have a local cuisine that you would like people to know about, please comment below. Like this video, it really helps me get my content out to more people. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I drop a video about Japan every single Friday. And recently, because of, well, it's been popular, I've started doing some sneaker content, and those videos I tend to release in the middle of the week sometime. So look for those as well. I have over a year of content, so search through my videos and find some topics that interest you. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I will catch you next week.